This week on News Time, introducing first, fighting out of the blue and yellow corner, weighing in at a respectable 43 seasons, a young show that's won 3 Daytime Emmy Awards, has amassed 4 separate spinoffs, and subsequently canceled most of them. Tonight, it goes for the highest rated morning show in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, from Times Square Studios, it doesn't need twice as many hours to get this point across. It failed in the late 90s. Who's to say it won't fail again? It's Good Morning America! And in the multicolored corner over there, weighing in at an impressive 66 seasons, holding possibly too many differentiated hours with several hosts, ratings dipping every single week. You most likely only watch them when they go to the Olympics. Tonight, it aims to not create any bit of controversy whatsoever. Ladies and gentlemen, live from New York, the Peacocking Peacock from Studio 1A and 30 Rock, it's The Today Show! And in the corner over there, weighing in at a paltry 12-seat. Wait, it went off the air and came back in 2012. 6 plus 12 is 18. 18 seasons? That's it? The only personality you know from it is Oprah's best friend. It focuses on hard news. I've got nothing else to say about it. Give it up for CBS This Morning. The single attendant and the dozen watching around the world. Let's get ready to News Time.
It's News Time. Delivering to you the news you didn't know about, the news you didn't care about, and the news you didn't know you cared about. With host, Chad White. Now, here's that host, Chad White.
Whew. Can we take a pause? I can get my breath back, please. Oh, but welcome back to News Time. I'm your host, Chad White. This is a comedy news that you didn't know about. Judging by my pointlessly elaborate cold open, which may or may not be the longest one in the show's history, you can probably tell this episode's going to be a good one. Now, of course, good and bad are subjective, and this show usually teeters a line between those two distinctions. Imagine, if you will, that this show is shot every day, live to tape, is slightly less funny and way more charming. There are stories, both happy and sad, and maybe a cooking segment. Now, imagine that lasts between 2 and 4 hours. These are the kind of steps a nationally syndicated broadcasted morning show has to contend with 7 days a week. For decades, America's leading morning news variety hours have been fighting for your grandparents, your parents, and your attention, some longer than others. But what one lacks in age, it makes up for in commitment to the true definition of news. Now, I'm talking, of course, about morning news show stalwarts Today, Good Morning America, and their baby friend This Morning. They each have their pluses and minuses, so let's get this going. This episode really needs padding, and Daddy's all about the padding, if you know what I mean. I don't know what I mean. Starting with Today, NBC's morning program is the most watched show, or at least it fights for that title day in and day out with ABC's offering. Not to mention, it's the eldest show. I could give you the herstory of the backstory, but then what would News Time talk about for today's 70th anniversary in 4 years? Gotta be forward thinking, kids. Here are the basics, though. It was once a 2-hour show that expanded into 3, then 4, and 2 the weekends between 87 and 07. GMA and Today would regularly challenge each other for ratings dominance. ABC's show would take the lead in the late 80s, and notably in 2012. You see, from 95 until that year, Today held the #1 spot for 852 weeks. 852! When the new seasons began in mid-September of 2011, the shows were separated by about 400,000 viewers. By late March of the following year, GMA narrowed the gap to 119,000. If those numbers look close, it's because they are. After ABC host Robin Roberts returned from vacation, and thanks to the talented Katie Couric's week-long stint, GMA's morning show bested the Peacock with 5.147 million viewers to NBC's 5.134. I haven't seen thinner margins since I bought the wrong kind of butter-like substance at the grocery store. I know! I couldn't believe it myself. GMA wouldn't take over as #1 until, the whole Me Too, Yeah. Speaking of that, because we have to, ex-CBS anchor Charlie Rose's actions may have put this morning on the map. I know. It sounds horrible, but the show was covering real news, and mostly just real news. Think of it as the Squawk Box to your, Today, or Good Morning Football to whatever ESPN's got going up against that. One is super fun, and the other is a much-needed slog. I prefer Squawk Box and GMFB, but they're wildly different. One is super serious and covers hard facts about the economy using numbers and stuff, while the other does silly raps about which football teams are better. Today and GMA prove you can do both. Whether they do it well is up for you to decide. But this morning offers the news cut and dry in an age when details can be muddied within presentation. Take a look at the Sunday morning broadcast. This is where the show slows down to cover most of the news from the past week while also being a place for highly produced long-form interviews. People like Dave Chappelle, Steve Martin, and Martin Short, and even Comedy Bang Bang host Scott Aukerman get the deep dives we never get a chance to see otherwise. This morning is in depth, whereas Today and GMA can't afford to be that way while also introducing pop culture elements. Okay, all of this is to say things are changing for your favorite morning news show. The ouster of the bad guys, along with the promotion of the good girls, does not feel good saying that, is leading to a revolution of sorts. Seriously, hear me out. Megyn Kelly's turn on Today cost NBC a lot of money. $69 million, in fact. And no, I do not have the time to comment on how great a number that is. Okay, I do. Up top, my brother. Publicists are moving their clients away from the show, and NBC cut back on her primetime hour. Like, way back. Don't believe me? Check out this graph from the Nielsen ratings. If you can't read it, the negative numbers are bad. Ratings are so down that Live with Kelly and Ryan is beating the third hour of Today by nearly double. NBC's in a war with ratings and itself, and it's losing. This is the precious time when GMA and This Morning can catch up. The former is doing just that with a new course of action it previously took on in 2012. GMA is heading back to the afternoons. ABC announced the move after, hot damn, Me Too is getting all the creeps. Yes, the Chew is dead due to a real-life troll from Troll Hunters making his way into our world and touching women. And also the ratings. But mostly the first thing. However, that opens up ABC to bring in a third hour of their morning show in the afternoon. According to an ABC press release, quote, even more news, pop culture, compelling interviews, and the program's signature epic live events are expected to hit the 1 o'clock hour sometime this fall. Like I said, GMA tried this back in 2012 when the show premiered, with that iteration lasting from July until September. The morning show hierarchy is in flux. NBC is losing to itself. ABC has been given the chance to regain its footing, and CBS is taking the only route it knows. Can each one of these networks be successful in their endeavors? No, scratch that. Ratings will tell. And that's all the news I have for you for this week on News Time. Why don't you subscribe and check out one of our other videos? Of course, you can always head to the website, cpluscomedy.com, where there are so many great things that there's not just about ratings, but it is about ratings. You can follow us on Twitter at cpluscomedy. Follow me on Twitter at ChadBlackWhite. Like us on Facebook. Listen to the Constitutionals podcast if you just want to hear me keep talking. And you should always light a candle when you're shooting your online news show that no one watches, because it smells good.